Hello everyone, welcome back to another video today, and this is the first episode of the Monday Football Gossip, episode number 1. And I'm so happy to bring this video. Here I'm going to discuss the important aspect of the last week football and some important aspect of what's going to come for this week and how important fixtures for this week are going to play. So we had an amazing weekend of football, from Manchester City beating Chelsea and most probably ending their slim title hopes. Coutinho's coming to the Premier League after a long time and scoring the equalizer against Manchester United, and Aston Villa coming back from 2 goal down to get a 2-2 draw, along with their Liverpool getting a much needed victory against Brentford 3-0 before the second leg of the semi-final against Arsenal. Along with that, we saw Norwich City beat Everton and Rafael Benitez getting sacked by Everton, along with a lot of Lukaku drama and all the stuff. So here I'm only going to cover some of them, and today I'm going to cover Aston Villa versus Manchester United match reaction, Manchester City versus Chelsea match reaction, a preview towards the Liverpool versus Arsenal second leg and what it holds for both the clubs. And along with that, looking into Rafael Benitez sacking and was it the right decision or not, and what went wrong for him at Everton. So starting with the first segment today, and the first segment is on my club, and that is Manchester City 1, Chelsea nil. And Chelsea fans, we all knew how tough it was for us to win the Premier League. We knew that before the start of the game. We found ourselves 10 points behind Manchester City before the start of this match. We knew we were 10 points behind, so even if we somehow pulled a miraculous victory, we still would have been 7 points behind. And why do I call this word miraculous? I call this word miraculous because Chelsea had no James, no Chilwell, and this is no injury excuse. But Chelsea fans had no hope before the match. The only hope was that Thomas Tuchel pulls off a tactical masterclass and plays City out of the park and somehow gets Chelsea the victory. And even then, Chelsea would have been 7 points behind, and it still would have been a very difficult task. The match started as many Chelsea fans anticipated, and Manchester City dominated from the start. And Chelsea somehow got towards the first half with 0-0 scoreline. In the second half, Chelsea were again defensively very resolute, and it never seemed like Manchester City were going to score that 1 goal until a world-class player, a top-class individual in Kevin De Bruyne, pulls off a masterclass of a goal, and sometimes holds your hands up and say, that was a fantastic finish. But there has to be other aspect of the game as well. In the second half, just at the start, Romelu Lukaku had a chance. Just like Kevin De Bruyne, it was a different range, but a top-class individual should be putting the ball in the back of the net, and he misses. And in the first half, he had an opportunity to tee up Alonso. He made a wrong decision, an overhit pass, and again, Chelsea could easily have scored 2 goals in the match and didn't. Overall, this should not take away from the fact that Manchester City, I apologize for that. Manchester City absolutely pummeled Chelsea from start to finish. It was total destruction. But even then, Chelsea might have just countered and got 1 or 2 goals if their strikers had some proper final instinct and decision making. And this does not just bode on Romelu Lukaku. Pulisic was awful, Hakim Ziyech was awful, and Chelsea have a huge problem of attack on their hands. Now, I am a Chelsea fan, and I'll give absolutely unfiltered and not being afraid of anything, real takes on what's the problem for us in our attacks and why do we struggle so much. Why do we struggle so much in attack? The reason is very simple. I look at Manchester City and we have no excuse. Chelsea paid £55 million for Christian Pulisic, £35 million for Hakim Ziyech, £72 million for Kai Havertz, £100 million for Romelu Lukaku, and 50 million for Timo Werner, while extending the wages and giving a very good wages to Callum Hudson-Odoi. So that is the way Chelsea's front team mentioned, and Chelsea have paid some whooping money to get them here. And so there's no excuse of, oh, Manchester spent a lot of money, so Manchester City are above Chelsea. No. For once, Chelsea, United, and clubs at top of the center cannot use that money excuse. Number second, what is the problem? And that is our players' profiles and how do they play. Now, with Pulisic, I have always considered him Chelsea's most proper attacker, most creative attacker, but he was in a magnificent form post-lockdown, and then an injury struck, and he has never been the same player again. He plays well for 5-6 games, injury strikes. He plays well, gains momentum, injury strikes. and he has not been able to build that. And you just tell me, many people will defend Pulisic or say, "Oh, Tuchel is not choosing him in the right way. He plays him in different positions." Just tell me, if a player is very unfit, what can a manager do? He comes back after some games, then already another player has built some momentum and got his chances in the team. A manager cannot change a system for just one player. Hakim Ziyech, he has been ridiculously awful in the Premier League. He has been fine in the Champions League, has shown some good moments when he has come at Chelsea, but overall he has been ridiculously bad at the Premier League because the pace of the Premier League has been too much for him to handle. And in Eredivisie, he had a lot of chance to think on the ball. He could easily wait, make a long pass, do his thing, but in the Premier League, instant instant decision making, and he struggles in that regard, and that's a major problem. Callum hudson is very talented player, and do not get me wrong, he's very talented, but his final output, even if you can say he's a young player, he is a young player who has played now at the top level for 3 years, and his finishing is one of the worst I've seen ever Chelsea player having in front of goal, and it's ridiculous. He's a very good player who pulls something out of the hat, but he just cannot pull on the final plug. While Kai Havertz is more of a player who is still are one of the best attackers, but he has one good game, one bad game, one good game, one bad game, one good game, one bad game, and he's also a very young player. Mason Mount, and just tell me, I love Mason Mount to bits, but Mason Mount is more like a winger and a midfielder combined. Should you really rely on Mason Mount to be getting you 15 goals, 15 assists a season? Why did you pay 100 million for a striker? Why did you pay 35 million for a winger, 55 million for a winger, 55 million, another 50 million, another for Timo Werner as a striker, to only want Mason Mount to score all the goals? And that is a big problem with Chelsea. And then you've got Timo Werner, who gives it everything on the pitch, loves the club, fights for the bash, does not give interviews, but sadly, his finishing is proper bad, proper bad. And then you got Romelu Lukaku, who first of all came with such high relation with the Chelsea fan base, Drogba fan, everything so good, and then he spoils it with the interview. He absolutely spoils it. And since then, his confidence has gone down. Every time Lukaku will do bad thing, everyone will be on him like a pack of wolves, and he deserves that because he made it hard for himself. He made it hard for himself. That interview, Chelsea fans were always in the favor of Lukaku. Okay, it's 100 million. He will come good. He will come good. We know Lukaku is good. We were defending him with everything. And he went there and he pulled the club down on the ground. He insulted the club that I support. Whoever I support, whether it be Eden Hazard, Diego Costa, Fabregas, Lukaku, Mason Mount, Timo Werner, you can never disrespect the club I support. And that is where Lukaku created a rift with the Chelsea fans. And overall, you have to also say he also makes a lot of runs which Ziyech doesn't find, Pulisic doesn't find, sometimes Harvard doesn't find, sometimes Mount doesn't find, because Lukaku started his reign at Chelsea very, very well. He started his reign in a very, very good way. Good match against Arsenal. He was looking in momentum, and then everything just went down. Everything just went down. There's no clinicality. There's no final decision making. There's no proper profile. We don't know what the profile of our players are. Pulisic is a very good dribbler of the ball. Hakim Ziyech is a good crosser of the ball who needs time on the ball. Mason Mount is a hard worker, dribbler, can do everything, but he's more of a midfielder winger. Kai Havertz is a, you can say, half-time player. He plays well in one good game in 2 games or 3 games. You got Timo Werner who can do everything bar finishing, more like a Daniel James. And then you go towards Romelu Lukaku, who just gives interview and overall has been ridiculously bad for the price we have paid for him. Along with which you see other players, Nareem Hudson-Odoi, who does very good aspects in some games, but his finishing is absolutely bad, and that is a recipe for disaster. You see Manchester City had Bernardo Silva, Riyad Mahrez, Raheem Sterling, they had Kevin De Bruyne, they had Gabriel Jesus, Jack Grealish. That is what you call a proper attacking run football club with players like Foden in there as well. All these players are clinical. All these players are experienced. Riyad Mahrez, an experienced Premier League pro. Raheem Sterling, experienced Premier League pro. Kevin De Bruyne, experienced Premier League pro. And the people watching this show right now, I will ask you one question. Who in the Chelsea team can pull off the Kevin De Bruyne strike? Who in this Chelsea team can pull off that? Who player in the Chelsea team can pull what Bowen is doing at West Ham? Which player in this Chelsea team can pull what Rafinha can do? Is Ziyech as good as Rafinha? No. Is Hakim Ziyech as good as Bowen? No. Is Lukaku one of the best strikers in the world? Yes. Has he played like that? Absolutely not. He has been pathetic. Is Christian Pulisic talented? Yes. But is his talent right now showing ability and showing the output? No. Is Mason Mount really doing really, really good? Yes. But should we absolutely rely on him? No. Is Kai Havertz one of the most talented youngsters in the world? Yes. But is he showing it consistently? No. Is Timo Werner a good player who has a proper knowledge, makes the right runs? Yes. But has he got the final output? No. And that's a recipe for disaster. And coming on for people who think it's a crisis, Chelsea are struggling, it seemed like under Frank. I love Frank. But difference between under Frank last season when he was sacked and right now under Tuchel is under Tuchel we have dominated games. We have played well. The rain hasn't been as bad as it looked like. We should have won against Liverpool with drop points. We should have beaten C team Everton. We missed 5 clear-cut chances. We should have beaten Wolves. Pulisic misses a sitter. We should have beaten Burnley. Hudson-Odoi misses sitters. We should have beaten Manchester United. Hudson-Odoi Rudiger misses sitters. In many fixtures, it's been our players letting the manager down, and I won't even say letting manager down. They tried. They just weren't capable for that. And here I would like to thank Almighty Blues, where he says that I made a very good point. And overall, he has a very good channel as well. So I do tell you, I do say that to apply subscribe to his channel. It's a very good content. And overall, he's also a Chelsea fan and makes some fantastic content. And overall, he will be as hurt as me and as hurt as everyone right now who is watching the show. And overall, has a set with the Chelsea attacking problem. Again, even if Manchester City dominated the game, Chelsea had so many times where one through ball they could have cut through counter attacking ability of the City because City play a high line. City were playing a high line with possession, and if you have the right attackers with the right decision making, you can instantly counter. And Chelsea is absolutely incapable of doing that because we aren't got the decision making. We can in some games we can score 3 goals like we did against Villa. In some games we can score 7 goals like we did against Norwich. In some games we can't even score a goal. And sadly, this is the problem. Now, Has coming back on the match, and Manchester City absolutely destroyed Chelsea. And they ended any slim title hopes we had. Now, are Chelsea in a top four race or a top four trouble? I don't think so. Chelsea's tough run of fixtures is over. Chelsea have played Manchester City twice. Chelsea have played Liverpool twice. Now, in the next 16 matches, Chelsea will travel to Old Trafford. They will play Tottenham at Stamford Bridge, Arsenal at Stamford Bridge, Leicester at Stamford Bridge. So Chelsea have a fixture list which is very kinder for the next part of the season. And overall, seeing this squad, I do expect at least 12 to 13 wins. And Chelsea still should strive to finish as close as possible to City. In the next 16 games, Chelsea should try to be near 1 or 2 points by City so they don't finish more than 14, 15 points behind them. So Chelsea still have a lot to do this season, still get that 80-point tally. Overall, in the last 2 seasons, Chelsea have got 66 points, 68 points. At least crossing that 80 mark will give this group confidence because the only thing that differentiates Chelsea from being a world-class team to an elite team is consistency. Chelsea still prefer to play bigger teams, and when everyone is fit, they can beat anyone in the world. Even against Manchester City, we lost 1-0, where if Lukaku has some finishing boost, the match and result would have been different. Chelsea do not like playing teams at the bottom where they have to score goals, and that is the thing they have to rectify. And on the final note is no crisis. Chelsea are in the Carabao Cup final, FIFA Club World Cup. Chelsea are right now fine position in the league with easy fixture list to come. So fans should calm down their crisis situation. But yes, if Chilwell we know is out for the season, James is out for 3 months. Chelsea need to find wing backs because having Aspilicueta Alonso on the wings is already paving trouble for the manager. And in February we'll be playing Lille, who okay we should get past. But in the quarterfinals, if we have no James and Chilwell and we are playing, let's say, Manchester City, Liverpool, United, or Atletico, or a PSG, Real Madrid, we need our all players back for that, or even a Bayern Munich. We need mostly all our players back. And if they're not back, we need to sign some replacement. So that was a Manchester City versus Chelsea match reaction. Now coming on towards Aston Villa versus Manchester United match, and this was another top class match. Here again, I think Manchester United started well. I think if you see the first half, that was the best performance Manchester United have put under Ralph Rangnick. They started it very, very well. They scored 2 goals and overall did a very, very good job in this match. But again, it's the inexperience. I don't know whether it's fitness issues for Manchester United playing under Ralph Rangnick, the fitness issues, the overall problems running around the pitch, the tiredness. Because let's be honest, I was seeing a show, I can't remember where a person made this point, and that's a very very good point, that people will be quick to jump on the Manchester United players. They don't care for the club, they don't care for the bash. Ragnick is pathetic manager, blah 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 blah. But they won't care about the fact that these players played under counter-attacking style of Jose Mourinho. Then before that, they were managed by Luis Van Gaal. Then they were managed by Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, who, as much as he did not do a bad job, he wasn't tactical. And now they have been instructed to be tactical, to make the right runs. If a defender is standing here, you make the run in behind. You press from the front. They weren't pressing from the front against Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. They were a counter-attacking team who relied on individuals. Now, on one point, you can say, should a manager play according to the balance of his squad? If his squad suits a counter-attacking style, play that. Why do you need to play a style which this team doesn't play? But on the other hand, do Manchester United want to change? They were struggling under Solskjaer. They weren't able to win trophies. They weren't able to win on the bigger days because their counter-attacking strategy only worked against the bottom sides or in the Premier League when they shocked someone. But it never won them the trophy, Premier League. It never won them the Champions League, never won them the Europa League, FA Cup, Carabao Cup. So they were struggling. So it's time for them to find the identity and play according to that. Find a profile. If they want to play counter-attacking players, get the best counter-attacking manager and have the best counter-attacking players. If you want to play possession-based, have possession-based team with a good possession-based manager. If you want to play high pressing style, so have a best pressing manager and have a high pressing team. United need to start working on profiles, and I think this is a very clear indication that this team right now, with the score they have, is very incapable of pulling a Ragnick or a Pep Guardiola or a Ten Hag type football. If Ten Hag comes to Manchester United or a Pochettino, they need 6 to 7 of their players. This team is fully counter-attacking. And on the other hand, if this team is counter-attacking, you look for the manager that is one of the best in the counter-attacking. And then they should show that. Now, many people will say Ragnick should adjust, but Ragnick philosophy is never on just counter-attacking. Ragnick philosophy is not defensive. Either United should start looking for a proper profile for the manager, or they should allow someone a change. And on the final note on that point, Manchester United were not able to become a bigger club on this counter-attacking philosophy that was inherited since Mourinho. This squad is absolutely rotten to core in that regards. Everything right now seems down. Different profile, different players, without any scouting. Players are being signed just to get the ticket prices up, just to get the Glazers support up. The club is struggling. Ronaldo was only signed. I'm not saying Ronaldo affected that. If anyone thinks that Ronaldo is a problem, they are really kidding themselves. Ronaldo is a player you want to have in the dressing room. But the reason that I'm saying is it's a problem is Glazers. They only signed Ronaldo to boost the shirt sales, to boost their support. And every United fan went on the train and forgot the real intention of what they wanted Glazers to do. And again, they signed the players with no profile. They signed Sancho, but with a counter-attacking manager, with no tactical philosophy in Solskjaer. They brought Varane, again, and not a proper manager. Then they brought Ronaldo under a team which wants to play counter-attacking and fast, quick football. That's a strategy on how you destroy a top-class football club. That's a very good strategy that a Manchester United club is showing you day in, day out on a television set. If you're in the stadium, they are showing you how to destroy a football club. Now, Chelsea, if I'm going to give a clear example, we are a sacking club, but we only appoint managers according to the profile of players we have. City are a possession-based team, tiki-taka style, who have everything in their club embroidered according to that. Liverpool are a high-pressing and balanced possession team with a top-class manager and players who can play this style. Even Arsenal right now play a football that Arteta wants, good passing football, and have players according to that. So even if Arteta is not good enough, sack him, bring the same profile of manager. Manchester United, what can they do? Will they bring a Ten Hag now and he will make Ronaldo and everyone play tiki-taka football, 70% possession? Are they going to bring in Pochettino who wants high energy? Are they going to play Ragnick? Are they going to bring a Jose Mourinho type manager to play counter-attacking, where Scott struggled under Solskjaer last time? Are they going to bring a top-class tactical manager which his players can't understand? This is my point. This is rotten to the core, and I think United fans on the pitch saw you had an old Nemanja Matic that was being run around. You had a right back, again Dalot, who might be attackingly better than Wan-Bissaka, but he's better attackingly than Wan-Bissaka. He's a very, very, you can say, an average player. Aaron Wan-Bissaka is a very good defensive player. Dalot is a fine attacking player, and that's what's the problem with Manchester United. One is a good defensive right back. but his other aspect of the game are not good. And on the other hand, the player has a good attacking attributes, not a Cancelo, James, Arnold level, but good levels, but is awful in the other parts. And then you've got a defensive problem. I think Varane and everyone did not have a bad game. They were neglected by the poor midfield of Manchester United. McTominay, Fred, Matic. It's just not a good midfield for a top club run football club. And on this match, Aston Villa knew they will get the one goal and they can come back. And a team that is winless, a team that has no idea on the pitch, they will struggle. And once it was 1-2, their midfield was being run to the ground, easy spaces at 2-2. And it's a massive drop points in according to the top four. It's only going to pile more pressure on Ragnick because fans will get angry and all the finger will be pointed at Ragnick, not Glazers, not the person whose strategy what is it. And overall, as you've seen my videos on Manchester United, Ragnick is not the problem. He's only as an interim. He can fail and still no problem. He can be successful and still no problem. The thing that Ragnick has been brought in is to change your future. Now, will your board allow that? I don't know. But right now, if your board do allow him to change, I do think that Manchester United fans should write this down. You can finish the league 8th, 7th. Allow Ragnick in the summer to build the squad in his fashion. Bring the manager he thinks is right for Manchester United. Bring 5, 6 players that suit that manager. And finally being start run like a top club that this club is. I am a Chelsea fan, but Manchester United should be run in a better way. And if they're a proper club, they will allow Ragnick to build in his way, allow him to bring the right manager and right profile. Or, as Manchester United always do, offer Paul Pogba 500k, give Nemanja Matic a new contract, go there and without any strategy, bring Haaland and pay him 600k. That's how their club is run. Are they being run in a proper manner now? We'll see in the summer. But yes, top four is still important to attract the players and overall the revenue thing. And overall, United are struggling in that. But on the other hand, getting top four makes their board complacent. So getting a 6-7 finish might not be that bad to make some changes inside and the bottom of the club. So that was a match section of Aston Villa Manchester United, where Manchester United threw a very good lead away and now find themselves in trouble to get a top four spot. Coming on to the next topic today, and the next topic is Rafael Benitez sacking. Now we saw Lucas Dean was sold because he was not under Rafael Benitez plans. There was a bust up, it was not working, they brought in Michaelenko, and now they have sacked him. They let such a good player in Lucas Dean, who was a fabulous player for a club like Everton level, and they let him go to another rival, Aston Villa, and now they've let the manager go, whose choice was to let Digne go. So, if you really wanted Rafael Benitez to leave, or you were unsure on his status, then why did you sell Dean? You could have kept him in the reserves, and if you thought Benitez was not good, you could have sacked him, and the new manager would still have Digne. It was an awful decision to sell him, and now they're in deep trouble. We knew their director of football left in last year. Now Lucas Dean is left. Club is in rotten in the core. Fans are angry. They can't even beat Norwich, even after most of their players returning back. They are such a good team on papers. Calvert Lewin, Richarlison, Demarai Gray, Andre Townsend, Doucouré. They've got Andre Gomez. They've got players like on names. Jordan Pickford. They've got Godfrey. They have got experienced pro in Coleman, but they play like an absolutely bottom team that deserves to play in the championship. That's how bad they are. They have been spending money year after year after year after year after year. They've been spending such big money on players, and still, let alone top eight, they can't even consistently finish in the top eight, play some nice football, or have a strategy. It's not a bad thing to play bad football. You need to have some strategy. This club is absolutely rotten to the core. First, they sacked Roberto Martinez. They brought Marco Silva in. They sacked him. Then it was Duncan Fletcher. Then it was Carlo Ancelotti. Then he was not sacked. He left. And now it was Rafael Benitez. Now again, it could be Duncan Fletcher. Rumors of Wayne Rooney. There's just no strategy at a club who have spent so much money that they should be aiming for a top 7, top 8, and they are aiming to survive from relegation. And on Rafael Benitez, I think sadly he was rightfully sacked. He was in such an horrific form. And even if you can't beat a Norwich City side away from home, who are also struggling and can't even string a run of victories, it is shameful. And to be 2-0 down to them after 18 minutes, a side that struggled to score goal, I'm sorry, if you're losing to that in your must-win game, you're most probably going to get sacked. But for Benitez, it's not a big problem. He will find a job somewhere. Trouble is for Everton. That was on the Rafael Benitez sacking. And moving on towards the last topic of the day, and that is Arsenal versus Liverpool, second leg preview. Now, we know that one team is Chelsea, who have already reached the final, and Chelsea will be playing the winner of Arsenal versus Liverpool. The first leg between these two teams ended in Liverpool 0, Arsenal 0, with a red card to Granit Xhaka, but still Arsenal showing the fighting spirit and surviving and getting an all important nil-nil draw. And now they bring it to Emirates with their fans with a week break because Tottenham match was cancelled. Energetic team, energetic rest, fans in the stadium, tired Liverpool who played full strength against Brentford, a Liverpool with no Mane, no Salah, no Keita at Emirates. It's a very good chance for this young Arsenal side to reach the final and again play Chelsea after beating them 2 years back. But on the other hand, again, I will warn the Arsenal fans who are watching this show. You do know we can see two types of Arsenal. We can see the Arsenal we have seen against Manchester City and Liverpool, but we can also see the Arsenal we saw against Everton and Manchester United. There are two types of Arsenal, and we know we can see anyone on any day. And Liverpool are a team who have always caused them trouble. Liverpool are a team that Arsenal have never liked to play. And overall, it's always been Liverpool sometimes having an upper hand against Arsenal. And therefore, this fixture is very important for Arsenal if they try to reach the final. Now, coming on to Liverpool, Liverpool technically right now are 11 points behind Manchester City in the title race. They have a game in hand against Leeds, and they will be 8 points behind. Now, Jurgen Klopp will be very well aware that it looks pretty tough for their side to win the title. And he knows that since his time at Liverpool, he hasn't won a domestic cup, and they're just one performance away from reaching a final. And I think he will give his everything, his players will give his everything, and this could be a very hard match to predict because Liverpool will try to win a domestic trophy under Jurgen Klopp, while Arsenal will try to win a second domestic trophy under Mikel Arteta. Now, in this match, the concern is Liverpool have no Saleh, no Mana, no Mane, no Keita, no Salah, and along with that, they have played just on Sunday against Brentford and they don't have enough rest and they've wasted some of the energy on the Premier League match. While Arsenal match was postponed and they will be fully rested, fully fit, and will have at least more energy than Liverpool in the first 30 minutes. But again, the first 30 minutes are very, very key. If Arsenal get a lead under the voiceless Emirates Stadium, 2 or 3 nil lead, sorry, 1 or 2 nil lead, sorry. If they even get a 1 nil lead with Liverpool not having any Salah and Liverpool slowly trying to attack and leaving spaces in behind, this could be a long day for Jurgen Klopp and his side, and another trophy can be going away from the hands of Liverpool. But as much as Liverpool keep it to 0-0, Emirates will start getting a bit more, you can say, nervous. Liverpool will have more control. Liverpool have more experience. Even if they haven't won domestic trophies, Liverpool are still a very experienced team who in the last 3-4 years lifted a one Premier League title, one Champions League title, played in the Champions League final as well when they lost to Real Madrid. They are still a very experienced group of pros who knows what to do in that type of stages. And therefore, it will be key for Arsenal on how they start the game. Now, coming on towards the prediction of this match and how this match is going to go, for me, I do think Liverpool have just too much class for Arsenal to not go through. And I think it's going to be Arsenal 1, Liverpool 2. I won't be surprised if Arsenal get the lead, but I think nervousness and the experience will still get Liverpool through. Yes, they have no Salah. Yes, they have no Mane. Yes, they have no Navigator. But they still have players like Chamberlain, Firmino, Jota. They still have Fabinho. They still have Henderson. They still have Robertson. They still have Trent. They still have Virgil van Dijk, Matip. You have, along with the goalkeeper in Allison, is still a very, very strong team. While Arsenal also have a very, very good team at home. But again, Liverpool are just too experienced, and overall, Liverpool are just too much at edge. Players like Jota, Firmino up front. And overall, Liverpool with that experience, Emirates and everything, I just think Liverpool which is too much for the quality of Arsenal. And overall, there's a reason why Liverpool are so much above in the Premier League table, and Liverpool are still a better run club and still top of the pile in the footballing world, and I think they'll show that. And if there's no sign of complacency or a sign of not giving importance to Carabao Cup trophies, I can't see Liverpool losing this game. Credit to Arsenal, they've reached this far. And for me, I won't be surprised if Arsenal win this game. But I just think that at the moment, if I look at the teams properly, that even without Salah and Mane and overall Arsenal midfield crisis because of players not being available, I think Liverpool will just too much for them at Emirates. And I think it's going to be Arsenal 1, and I think it's going to be Liverpool 2 with a Jota Firmino goal. And I think that was a video today. And overall, I hope you have enjoyed it. the Monday Football Gossip episode 1. And overall, I do hope you've agreed with my opinions. And on the final note, please, if you're liking the content, do hit on the like button, subscribe button. Please support the channel. And please do leave your prediction in the comment section below of what's going to happen in the Arsenal Liverpool match and your views on Chelsea's loss to Manchester City, United struggles, and was sacking Rafael Benitez the right decision by Everton. So thank you everyone and hope you all have a very, very good day. Thank you.